All right. Good morning. Good morning. It is 6:32. I'm sorry I'm 2 minutes late, but it is what it is. I hope everyone's feeling well. We've had a week. It is Thursday. My name is Scott Redler. I am the Chief Strategic Officer of T3Live.com and founder of the Red Dog Mindset. Actually, last night was an awesome night. I was in the city. We did an event, kind of like a launch party with Vicarious, which was a show for Fashion Week with so many like-minded individuals that are trying to empower themselves to become better versions of themselves, get their routine, get their process going. And as you know, I'm a little bit of a creature of routine and process, and so are you. That's why you guys tune in every day at 6:30, and many of you are starting to tune in at 20 at 5:20. If you do find value in the 6:30 club, going over the X's and O's, the narratives of the day, where we're going to look, how we're going to make money. We all look at the same charts, the same market, but if your mind is right and you're thinking clearly, basically you can execute, and that's how you make money. So if you want to subscribe to that button up top to get a little bit more of a sneaky peek into the Red Dog mindset and the mantra that's kept me in this business for 30 years while I've seen traders come and go, a lot's going to be going over there on the weekends and outside of trading. So subscribe there. And if, you've been tuning into the 6:30 club for a bunch of years, I think that subscribing to the Red Dog mindset will also give back to you and me, and we'll all move forward together. But either which way, let's take a look at the chart of the SPYs. You're getting a little bit of upside follow through to yesterday's strength. I was here with you guys on Monday when we had a big gap down. We were talking about levels that the SPYs could hold. Well, they did. Then we were talking about yesterday 597 holding, and it did. And you've had a 3-day bounce, very similar to what happened the week prior. But within this bounce this time, you did get a little bit of a rotation. I spoke to you guys yesterday saying, hey, if rates go lower, maybe the small caps get a little bit better. So the IWM actually yesterday was buyable. The XBI also was buyable. The IWM and the XBI both like lower rates. You have everyone talking about the equal weight S&P and money rotating. Well, now it kind of feels a little bit like, it's taking place. At this point, the SPYs are up only 14 cents, actually, not even up much coming in. So we still have a tactical type tape. And listen, yesterday was a little tough. NVIDIA was really strong, and we spoke about that 24 hours ago today. I was like, guys, the S&P futures are down 30. NVIDIA is up 80 cents. It's the first time I've seen this in a week or two where NVIDIA is stronger than the market. So a lot of people made a lot of money yesterday trading NVIDIA. And if you have it, you know what? You trim and trail some. So again, tuning into the 30 at 6:30 before the world is awake can make you money. Subscribing to the Red Dog mindset, I think, will make you even more money. But anyway, let's move through it. Let me show you what I'm talking about with the IWM. The IWM, it looks really nice right now. You have it reclaimed all the moving averages. So if you've watched the T3 ebooks that we put together, when you reclaim the moving averages, things are healthier. You could focus there a little bit more. The IWMs have been on the D list, and now they're on the B plus list. Okay, so we'll see what goes on here. The IWM right now is, what's it doing? It's up 57 cents, giving a little bit of follow through. Not a whole ton, but if it gets through this 230, there's really nothing to about 236 where it rolled over from. So there is a nice void here. Granted, you don't want to go, all in on day 3 up. I have a day count rule. Day 1, usually you're a buyer. Day 2, you're usually adding to it if you have that kind of wherewithal. Day 3, you're starting to trim and trail. And here's your day 3. So I'd love to see a little inside action here. Let it hold, let it show commitment. We like commitment to moves. Let it go a little bit sideways, and then perhaps the IWM, starts to get more traction. Same way with the XBI. Look at the XBI. We talked about you could be long versus 90, 47, 3 nice days all the way right back up into resistance. And if you look at the XBI has been nowhere. Remember this descending channel, and then your ascending channel, and it's been going sideways to the fact where, if we do have these tariffs and we start treating like USA first, these domestic companies, and maybe the IWM and the XBI just gets better. And as of right now, so far, so good. As far as Tesla, let me tell you, Tesla's my biggest loser of the week. I'll call a spade a spade. I made a lot of money in Tesla pre-election, a lot of money in Tesla post-election, but it feels like the honeymoon is over. And, I had to get out of it yesterday. Why did I get out of it yesterday? Because technically it showed me it's not special. I was long coming in, and I said I'm going to give it to a 15-minute low. And guess what? A lot of things bounced, a lot of things went green, and Tesla did not. You can't have Tesla rose-colored glasses on because it's made you money in the past if you're an active trader. Bottom line is, yesterday or 2 days ago looked like maybe this wedge to the upside, could be broken. Maybe. Okay, that was the potential plan. But guess what happened yesterday? It said no. It said the trade changed. So in my mind, when the trade changes, I have to get out of it. And thank goodness I get out of it. I lost some money there. Now this morning, there's some news out there that their sales in Europe are plummeting, et cetera, et cetera. If you went short it, you're making money, right? Qs are down 33 cents. If you look, the market closed on the highs, and Tesla could not bounce. That the spies, look at this candle in the spies. The spies have a nice little green candle, and what does Tesla have? Not a green candle. So what is that? That's relative weakness. So when you see relative weakness in a name that's supposed to be leading the market, you get out of the way as an active trader. What did lead the market yesterday, which was good, was NVIDIA. I made some really good money in NVIDIA yesterday. I was in there early with you guys from the 630 Club. Some of you guys from the Alpha team. Oh, hold on. Something's going on with my, I think with my keyboard here. Okay, not really. It's a nice candle. So with that being said, there were the guys on the Alpha team talking about NVIDIA. I was already looking at it. We all kind of, thought about it together and gave each other conviction to get more size and stay with it longer. And if you look at it right now, NVIDIA is up 90 cents. It was strong yesterday, closed near the highs. Qs are down, Tesla's down 6. Hey, NVIDIA is up. Something changed. Something started to change yesterday. So hopefully you made good money long it, and you're trimming some now. I did take a little AMD options because everyone's like, oh, AMD's priced, for failure. And if they say something positive, maybe it goes up, and it didn't. So I lost money in AMD options yesterday. Yesterday wasn't a great trading day for me. It was a good trading day. It wasn't a good position into options for earnings day. Google didn't work, AMD didn't work, and Snap didn't work. So 3 of my earnings for options plays didn't work, so they add up, but it could have been a lot worse. If I had as many shares as I had contracts, I would have lost 6 figures plus, and that would have been miserable, especially considering I had my launch party last night. And who wants to be miserable at a launch party? Anyway, with that being said, let me say hello to some of my dogs out there. Let's see who we got tuning in. We got Get It Done, Google Now. You know what? Someone's asking me, what about if you want to be long Google Now, okay, you have a new point of reference, right? So there's your new point of reference. We'll see how much of this gap gets filled. Okay, so maybe there's a trade. So if you did not get caught and like, hey, I'm going to be long versus 188, that's a strategy. All you can have is strategies. And right now, Google versus that low is the strategy. But you had a similar situation in Microsoft. A lot of people like, I'm buying Microsoft. It's going to go up into this weakness. And if you look at Microsoft, here was your gap, and it's been slowly going lower. And it still hasn't even proved that it's going to fill this gap yet. So if you've been focused on Microsoft, it hasn't been where the action is. You know what I'm saying? So what's up, Space Specialist? Hello is talking about Dash. I got to say, if you've been tuning into the 630 Club, or if you've been a member of Power Plays of the Alpha team, Dash has been fantastic. The trend that has been so viable is it's just been awesome. Another new high. A lot of you guys were buying a dip yesterday. A lot of you guys are saying, hey, how do I get my mind right? I've never really played Dash. I like the Mag 7, the semis. I'm like, well, hey, just think about it. Think about it in the morning. That's what we do with the Red Dog Mindset. That's why you should be subscribing to it. Very cheap, where you get your money. Like, okay, well, maybe Microsoft's not great. Maybe Google's in the penalty box, but there are other names moving around. So you have to move around and go where the money is. Right now, Dash has been there. So I'm not going to say go there now, but I've shown you so many times on the weekly chart in the last 3 to 6 months that Dash could be, $225 to $250 in 2025. And look at this cup and handle pattern and look how it's going. You could play options. You could be in the stock. You could be buying dips. Just do something. It took me a little time also when the institutional guys were like, hey, no one really understands Dash. You should be looking at this, and it's going to, maybe it starts one of your awesome active sequences. I'm like, you know what? You're right. That's true. They brought it to me here, and I wasn't ready to go with it. I started watching it, and I started getting involved in Dash on September 11th. And that was actually when, a lot of us that were in a little bit of a hole from August because of the crazy action in August, started to follow this trend. And I think I've been involved in this for the entire time on the VTF, buying dips, massaging it, playing options. And at this point, I'm just in the stock and it's trending really nice. And what's it doing today? I don't know. What's it doing this morning? Dash is down 9 cents. Anyway, 195. Isn't that cool? So hopefully you made some money there. My three amigos from last year was Dash, Palantir, which I guess you could say came into the gap a little bit. So maybe, if you were playing it for a post earnings gap play, well, this now turned into a lower level. This is now 99.32. Okay, you want to be careful when something starts to enter a huge gap. It can go wherever it wants. So if you're active and traded for a living, you got to be careful. Just because it's been so fantastic, there's a big gap here, and you don't want to just start buying it because of your pleasant memories. Hopefully, if it's been an investment for you, congratulations. This could have changed your life, and changed a lot of traders' life too. It's been above the 821 day. It's been trading by patterns. The dips have been buyable. It's been awesome. Where is it now this morning? It is up 57 cents. So, came in the gap a little bit. So now if you got out, so this is how the strategy works. If you got out when it broke the pro earnings gap pivot and came in here and came off, maybe you got back in. And now 99.32 is your new point of reference. If you were to be long, you're long versus that. All right, Little Curbs says, good morning. Papa says, let's go Reddit. Reddit has been unbelievable. We had that as a power play also a bunch of times and took that trade. That trade was really good, to the power play audience and to the virtual trading floor. I traded a bunch of times. I probably could have been better there. I probably could have had it on a swing trade. I could have been focusing there, but I tend to gravitate towards Mag 7, the semis, the one-offs. And when that Reddit trade was perfect, this is everybody talking on YouTube and Twitter. Reddit's been, look at Reddit. My goodness gracious. Another dip that was buyable. Another, just move to highs. And look how this has been, every dip's been majorly buyable into the 8-day. So hopefully you're buying it, you're not pressing it because of the valuation. Stocks do grow into their valuations. Those who've been saying Palantir is overvalued, they've been saying it since 20, and they might even be out of the business because they've been shorting Palantir since 20 or 40. You're out of the business. If you've been shorting Reddit, look, we were just talking about like pro gaps. Well, look at this pro gap. Imagine you bought it and said, hey, I'm going to give it to 104.16. Has it ever violated that? You could have been on Reddit the entire time because it never violated this gap. That's what a swing trade is. You could be having a job. You could be a fireman, a doctor, a lawyer, a teacher, saying, I want to just follow some red dog tactics. I'm going to buy when something has a big pro gap. That means there's a lot of money behind it. And then all of a sudden, it's been above the 8 and 21 days since. Just like that. Congratulations to you if you guys are in it. Yes, gold is doing great, Top. And my friend Peter, there are lots of different ways to play gold. It could be part of your asset allocation where if you have the pie chart, 10% I think could be in gold. I think 10% could be in Bitcoin. Maybe 60% is in equities and then some in bonds, however you do it. But gold has been something that people have been accumulating for years, and at times it really performs. But just like Bitcoin, if you're going to trade it actively, it just has to be above the 821 day, just like any risk asset. If it's above the momentum trends and you play for momentum, great. Look at the GLD. The GLD actually, it's a little extended, my friends. This is what I call a topping tail. I don't know what it's doing today, but that is a topping tail, my friend. So I'd be a little careful tactically. If anything, I would reduce a little bit. Typically, every strong trend does revert back to the 8-day. And this just had a huge move, and congratulations. This was probably when you should have been a buyer of it. This is when it broke the downtrend. This is when it got back above the 8-day-ish. And this probably should have been a trim if that's what you do. But anyway, all good. What's up, Joey A? All good. Lesson learned. My change of thinking now is consistently profitable. That's great. Was buying Palantir last year, $20, got stopped out. You could always revisit. Listen, if you get stopped out of a trade, you could always revisit after market discovery, after you have a new point of reference to quantify your risk. You have to quantify your risk as an active trader. Otherwise, you're never going to stack days. You're never going to stack weeks. You're not going to get paid out monthly, and you're going to be out of the business. If you're not thinking clearly and you're like, oh, well, I tried this yesterday, and then all of a sudden it's working today, you can't say, well, I did it yesterday. I can't do it today. Yes, you can. The stock has no idea you tried it yesterday or the week before. Get back to it. Get your mind right. Go read Trading in the Zone. Subscribe to the Red Dog Mindset. Figure out how you could become a better market participant so you could follow your X's and O's. I've been shaken out of things also, and then I go back to them when the composure changes. You want me to go over Avago? AVGO. That's not an AVGO. AVGO is right here. I think there's something wrong with this button on my keyboard, the V. Something might have spilled. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's not it. That's AGVO. My keyboard's a little sticky. Let's see. AVGO. There we go. Sloppy. Anyway, a lot of guys are long versus 213, got in the gap. What's it doing right now? Let's see. AVGO is let's see, let's go over here. Do you guys see ARM? ARM kind of underwhelmed. Let's see if it's affecting the AVGO. No, it's up 3. Listen, this doesn't trade. I like stocks that close on the highs, close on the lows, don't give you like dojis and dojis and dojis. And this just is a sloppy mess. So if you are going to be in AVGO, you should be in verse levels. You can't add. You can't add on strength. Maybe you're long verse 213. Now maybe you're long verse 226, 227. But this is a type of trade where you can't buy it through a level and then sell it higher. It's just been really hard to do, but it's acting well. It's above the moving averages. This is considered a strong semi for now. Riot or Mara, I think you just I would stay away. Stay away from the miners. It's hard enough to stick with IBIT. If you want to be in crypto, stick with the IBIT. You could buy options. At some point, this range is, after it digests this major move, is probably going to break to the upside, I would assume, and you're going to have a really nice trade. That could happen, and some of the miners just don't do it. So I'm not even going to put it up. Is ARBE ready? I don't know. I have this. I had a big move. It's pulled in a bunch. If you remember, we played this all the way up to $5. I think it's worth a look. I'm long ARBE. It's not a focus. I'm not like hyper trading it, but I am long, and we'll see if it wakes up. It has to rebuild. It has to prove it can go again. This is that Israeli company. You could do your own research. ARBE. Another one that people are like, why are you in this one? Well, I'll go over it real quickly. IMNM. Okay, this is my buddy David Prince, the Prince of the markets, loves this. Okay, he's been in it for a while, and it hasn't been acting well. From 31 all the way down, the buyers have been pretty crappy. This chart shaping up. The CEO bought a lot of stock. Stephen Cohn, who a hedge fund manager that I think he owns the Mets. He filed for 6%. So do some homework on it. Bios are very risky. I bought this the other day, pretty well. I bought it below 10. They were buying it down here. And if I didn't know anything about it, I probably wouldn't even been buying it yet. So now let it hold here and break this downtrend. You guys remember back in the day, the 3D printing stocks? Well, SSYS was a leader, really good name, right? Remember Triple D? Not so bad. So these guys are starting to move. So one of the funds that I follow, that I'm friends with, say that this NNDM, is fundamentally stronger. And if that's the case, the stock has done nothing. Okay, it's not really well known. You just had a move. It's still below this downtrend. Maybe it hangs out for a day. So I'm accumulating this. But this isn't Apple. This isn't Tesla. This isn't Google. These are names that if the small caps get better, you got to have some small caps that some flows are behind. So those two are two of them that I'm doing besides trying to trade for a living here. What else? Again, I'm in the IWM. We'll see. This is a big level for the IWM. I don't know if it's going to do it today. It might do it in the jobs report tomorrow. Might want to see what kind of jobs report we have. But, maybe you could buy some 230 calls for a move to 236. I'm long the IWM themselves. But anyway, Mr. Thoughts and Coin. I don't know. Mr's really hard. Mr is tight. I haven't really been focused on it. I like when Mr's trending. I like when Mr is leading the market, and it's not doing it. So, if you're trading Mr, okay, good luck. Yesterday was a red day when the Dow was up 300 points. Not saying it moves with the Dow, but there are times when these momentum names are hard, and there are times when they're worth it. Right now, it's up 4. I don't know. To me, Mr's got to get above here and continue. I remember this was a fantastic trend. This is when Mr. would be up while Bitcoin was down, showing relative strength and trending with momentum. And since then, it's been like a choppy mess. So just be careful. You don't want to trade a choppy mess. All right, guys, I got to jump. It's already 6:52. I got to say, so far it's been a choppy week. There's been a lot of things to do. It's been almost better to day trade versus trying to catch moves. It's been better to trade versus a 5, 15, 30-minute low than anticipate. And and then hopefully we'll see how it continues from here. For me, I did lose a decent amount of money in Tesla, but I'm over it. I tried it. I didn't break any of my rules, and I actually stuck to my game plan by getting out of it. And now we'll see if it has to stay in the penalty box for a while. Google's in the penalty box. Microsoft's in the penalty box. Apple's been hard. Like, look at this Apple. Apple gapped up on earnings, got sold all the way down. If you took Apple because it was strong, at least the dip was viable. They didn't trap you. What do I mean by that? Well, if you went long on Apple because it looked like it was stabilizing against 225, and then that news came out that China might be doing something with their app store, at least you were able to buy more and you did not get stopped out. So you were able to salvage a trade. Phoenix, yes. Phoenix, my puppy dog, is 11 weeks old. She's doing great. I appreciate you asking me about her. Cadence passing away was tough. When you lose someone you love, it's like you don't realize, what you had while she was here. So, what I learned is, not to compare my parents to my dog, but my parents, I have the luxury of them still being alive. So every day I'm sending them a nice little text in the morning. Hey, mommy, I hope you're feeling great. Hey, dad, have a great day. You know what? Because one day, when you can't send it, you can't send it, and you're going to regret the times you could have, So anyway, I do miss Cadence, but Phoenix is a new beginning. Life is about new beginnings. Life is about getting your mind right so you can execute on the X's and O's. Life is about gratitude and about making some progress. Everybody wants to make progress. You don't have to perfection. Progress. All right, guys, I'm going to go hang out to the Alpha team, do my 40 charts, and get the day moving. Amazon is after the close. I'll have some options just because I've had them on. Amazon's been really good to me this year. It did hold where it has to. I think everyone is saying now that Amazon is not going to be able to be impressive. Amazon, the read-through from Microsoft and Google isn't good. So I think I'd be more upset if I don't risk $3 to $5 grand and it works than if I get out of it because Google didn't work. I didn't have Microsoft, by the way. So I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to be in some kind of call spread for earnings for after the close today. And in order for this to get to 250, it's got to get above and stay above 240, 250. That's your earnings pivot. That's your momentum pivot. Gets above there after hours, maybe it's tradable. If it gets hit, you better start mapping out levels. And I guess a good level for Amazon would be 215 if it gets hit. But I'll put together a chart later after the day starts to get going. Ken says, watch Grail, G-R-A-L. All right, Ken, I appreciate you. Thanks, G-R-A-L. And let me take a quick look before we go. Ooh, look at that move. Wow. Definitely had a big move already, so you don't want to be chasing something. But, this is what you call a day one that gave you a nice day two. And it's trending. Maybe it continues. And look at this nice little cup and handle right here, a nice little cup that it took it out, right? All right, there you go, Ken. Hopefully you made some good money here. Thanks for something to put on the radar.